welcome back to Opal&Mint. I am Ashley and welcome back to Watercolor Month, a flower every day. This is where we're painting a flower every single day of this month, July. Watercolor Month. This is my first World Watercolor Month to celebrate, and it's been so much fun painting along with you guys. I've had so many new people come to the channel because of this series, and I'm so excited that you're here, and I'm so excited to hear the stories that y'all are telling me in the comments. It's just making me so happy. I just wanted to say hi and a welcome, and we're going to go ahead and dive in. We're using the flower color guide this month. We're opening up to a random page, and we got to paint whatever it is that we open the book to. So let's go ahead, turn the camera around, and start painting. All right, so let's go ahead, open up the book, and see what it is we're painting today. Hopefully we get something good. Let's go a little more towards the front, but not all the way front. Let's see, right here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, well, there's not a lot of color there now, is there? That's just all the same color. I don't think I've seen a green ranunculus before. And then this is a French parrot tulip. That looks like cabbage. We're gonna do it because we have to. I mean, there are no rules, I don't have to. But we open to the page, and although we've already done a ranunculus, I'm trying to justify not doing this, aren't I? I mean, it's a very different ranunculus than that one. Let's pick something else. It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. Okay, you ready? All right, 1, 2. I'm like nervous, really nervous. 3. Okay. We have I've never heard of this. What are an oncidium orchid, which very small flowers, or we have a butterfly ranunculus. Okay, well, we just did a ranunculus, but this one looks completely different. This looks almost a little bit more poppy-like to me. Let's give this a try, shall we? All right, so if you are following along and you have this book, we are on page 80 today. And let's see what we can do with this. You know what? I haven't brought these paints out in a while because I leave them in this travel thing. But I'm going to get out the Christy Rice palette because there's a gorgeous, almost buff titanium-ish color that we could probably use for these. So let's do that. Okay. All right, camera, focus on the paper. All right, so this is the Christy Rice, what are you called? Making Art for Joy's Sake palette. I have the Academy watercolor paper from Bao Hong, and what brush shall we use? We're gonna use a filbert. This is a Princeton size 12, Princeton Select size 12. So that's what we're gonna use today. Let's go ahead and get some color going. Well, not much color. These have a lot of creamy yellowness to them, so luckily they're not like stark white. So we can have a little bit of fun here. I really like this one and this one. This one's gorgeous. So again, we're doing this in a loose style, not detailed, beginner friendly, very quick. Okay, now that I've said everything, hopefully, let's go ahead and get some color. I think I want to mix, I don't know the names of these colors, I'm very sorry. But we're going to get a watery mix of this buff titanium-esque color. There's a little bit of pink on this section. So okay, so that kind of dulled that down, or pink, whatever. I'm going to add a touch of this fluorescent yellow. I like to mix it in with paints. That's better. That's better. Okay, so we're getting this mixture of those two colors, and we're going to water it down quite a bit. So I'm dipping into my cup and then wiping the excess off on the edge. All right, here we go. I want to put a flower here-ish. So let's start. Let's just kind of put in some very light petals. Around a center here, getting plenty of water And just kind of keeping this loose and ruffly petals here. Beautiful. Okay, now the center of this one has a little bit of pink fading into it, tiny bit of a soft pink. So I'm actually going to take the really soft pink in this palette, and I'm just going to touch the center of this so it'll blend out just a little bit into that. Okay. And then from there, we're going to do the dark center. I want to let that dry just for a couple of seconds first. So while that's drying, let's go ahead and do a second flower. And we're going to do the smaller one over here that has more of a yellow center. It's cool how they're such different colors. This one's a little bit smaller. It's more of a baby flower. And whoa, way too dark. And I need more yellow. So getting some water, adding some yellow to that. Just get a lot of water on your brush. Yeah, that's better. Right. Keeping it loose. Just gonna, there we go. Kind of tucking it behind that other one. Very, very light. And then I'm actually gonna touch, whoo, that fluorescent yellow, look at that, into the center. Kind of fan it out just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's the start of that flower. All right, so let's go ahead and do the center of this one. I really want a smaller brush for this, so I really want a round brush for it. So we're gonna take the Princeton Snap size 6. And the center of this one's just generally a brown color. So let's take the brown in this palette, and I actually don't really like this brown by itself. Like the color, the shade of brown is not very pretty to me. So I want to add a little bit of, let's see, let's try some of the red. No, wrong direction. Let's take, wow, this fluorescent I have used. I'm almost touching the bottom of it. That's getting better. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of that fluorescent yellow to it. It's amazing what that does. And then we're gonna take a touch of the blue to deepen it up. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. All right, I'm taking my brown mixture and we're just gonna start dotting this. Where's my towel? Too much water on my brush. If you have too much water, it's gonna bleed further. So I'm just dotting this in the center. And I want the very, very center of it to be even darker. So try to get a darker mixture right in that middle. Okay. And we're going to leave that alone for right now. And we're going to add some shadowing details to the petals in a second. But let's move on to the center of this one. This one has more of a green center, green-yellow center. So I'm actually just going to take the color that's right here on the palette already. It's yellowy green mixture. And we're going to just put in a center here. And it's got like a ring in it. So what I'm going to do is actually just do a nice even wash of this green color first. And then we're going to take a deeper bit of green and just go around a circle here. And then dot it right on the edges of it. Just a little bit. Okay, so there's the center of that flower. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see when we start doing some details. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take this green and we're gonna put some stems in so we can kind of see this, where these flowers are coming from. And this one's really just kind of tucked back in there. So let's do that. And the leaves that are on these kind of droop. So We're gonna go up and down. Just get some droopy leaves going. Add some different colors, variations in here. You go up and curve, kind of curving down like that. Very curved leaves. And I'm going to have some coming just out of some of these, the edges of these petals, because when you have white, cream, whatever colored flowers, if you have leaves coming out of them, it'll help frame where those flowers are, where the edges are. So just kind of put some leaves in here and there. Cross them, just make them go all over. Okay. All right, so now that we have some leaves in, we're gonna start putting in a little bit of detail for the petals. So I'm gonna take some more of this creamy mixture here. Actually, wipe that up. All right, so we've got our buff titanium looking color and some fluorescent yellow. Add a touch of the pink to this. There we go. All right, so we're just gonna put in some little bitty details here. I'm actually putting the brush on the side and kind of dry brushing a little bit, so make sure your brush isn't too wet. And just lightly stroke the side of the brush across the paper. And you'll get just a little texture. Coming down where there's like a fold in the petal. So we're going to put one here too. Pretty. Okay, and let's go to this one up here. Add a touch more yellow to our mixture for this one. I want this petal to be kind of behind the other ones. So let's add a little bit there. Have just some, just kind of randomly put these lines in here. Again, do a little dry brushing and a little bit of lines, and they will eventually start coming to life. I want to add a little bit more pink to this one because there's a very definite pink on the inner portion of it. So I'm going to get a watery bit of pink, tapping off my brush a little bit. I don't want this to be too, this pink is fairly pigmented, so I'm trying to get just a light wash of it. I should have tapped more pink in when it was wet, but you can add that later. I'm just going to go over the whole center actually. That's better. That's better. Okay, drying my brush off, slightly fanning that pink out, just so it's not a harsh line of pink. Okay, we're getting somewhere, guys. We are getting somewhere. I want a little more depth in the center of this. So let's take some of this green here and some of the brown. Oh my goodness. And some of the blue. Ooh, that blue took over. Oh, that's a beautiful color though. All right, some of this brown. There we go, there we go. All right, we're gonna take a little bit of this and we're gonna just tap right in the center. Ooh, I knew that was still wet. I knew it was going to do that. There we go. Just tapping a little bit. I should have waited for that to dry a little bit so I could have a little bit more defined center, but I'm going to leave it and I'm going to let it bleed. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Touching a tiny bit more pink around that. Okay. I actually really like these. I'm surprised. We could totally do more detail, but I told you we're keeping this loose, and I think that's where we're going to stop. I like it. Let's go ahead and splatter some color. I think I'm actually going to splatter a little bit of this pink. And then I'm going to get some of this yellow mixed in with that and splatter a little bit of that. There we go. And then a tiny bit of green. Woo, that was not a tiny bit, but that's good. Okay. Beautiful. This is spreading more than I would like. I kind of feel like I should leave it, but I'm just going to pull back some of these like spider webs. Just to rein in that middle just a little bit. I still want more depth in the middle. I'm not getting it with these colors. Therefore, I'm going to take up my Daniel Smith just for a second. I know I said I was done. Please forgive me. I'm going to take Van Dyke Brown. Where are you? Oh, I think this is Van Dyke. Yeah. Okay, so I'm taking Van Dyke Brown, and I'm going to get a concentrated amount, tapping the excess water off, and I'm just going to touch it right there in the center. Right there. That's all I want. Now, don't move too much. All right. All right, so that is day 19 of Watercolor Month of Flower Every Day. I hope you were enjoying this. Please tag me in your beautiful paintings. I want to see them all. But that is it for today. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you want to see our future videos, hit that subscribe button down below, and we will see you again tomorrow for another day of Watercolor Month of Flower Every Day. Bye. It's pretty. It's pretty. It works. You are a butterfly, Ranunculus. Follow the butterflies. Ranunculus. Every time I have to spell this word, I'm like, are there really that many U's in this?